Oh, wow. Cool. I don't have a system. Of course, what is I'm going to like to get there. Yeah. There. Yes, get there. Like a book. It's Oh, okay, okay. Давно не видел, удивился, такой как появился. Костик, я давно не видел, как я лучше потрачу время на это только не будет. Уже 2-3 месяца я буду.
Oh, nice. What? Perfect. Thank you. I remember yeah.
Be careful about together. All these things. It's like that's the big. For example, so even the same tool we can do Okay. On one, two, three, go. We are starting, kinda, bit by bit, the official program. I hear the sound of coffee machine. In 1 minute, yeah, we will start. I'm very happy to see so many people here, so please find suitable places. If there is not enough, then you can sit on the table, you know, as usual. And everyone gets at least one free drink. If someone didn't get free drink, you can come to those beautiful people there, and they will give you a free drink. There was a small misunderstanding, just a tiny, small one. Yeah, it happens, you know, it happens. But everyone gets at least one drink. And today we have a sponsor here with us. He will speak a bit later. Yes, he's providing the drinks, so that's a cool. Yes. So I think we will start our program from our beautiful sponsor, coming from Turkey here, yes, and he will tell you about his event, I think, and not only. Let's see.
Yes, thank you, Andres. Hello, everyone. Welcome. I'm Batuhan. I'm the founder and managing director of Mobilitum. We are a game industry news and events company, the biggest one in Turkey. I've been living in Estonia for 9 years, and I remember the meetups we had 3 years ago. Maybe there was like 10, actually. So it's great to see so many people attending today. So I play again. The sponsor and the team is half of them here. It's at the bar. If Martin is watching this, my greetings to him. Here's some questions I want to talk about. Actually, a question that will just show you what we do. In general, if you go to the meeting last one, you will see the English views of the game industry, PC and so as well. And we organize events. So far in Turkey, but this year we are planning to event outside of Turkey, and the opportunity will be this year. So this is the recap of the events we organized last year. It's September.
It's loading. Let's not make it too loud.
This is the teaser for 2020, 2020 event. So I'm not sure if someone actually in this event. Sometimes I meet with people and they are event. If not, you can attend this year. And so the event we are planning in Estonia will be a smaller scale of this one, so like a single day event with sessions, networking, and some sponsors. So I have a few questions to understand the audience a little bit, so we can meet and talk. A few questions, and maybe Andres can help me send a survey later on, so we can understand the countries, the developers' needs here. First of all, who is not living in Estonia? Just came from other country. Okay, wonderful. President. Okay, you're in Erasmus. He's also from Turkey. Who is not making any games? Okay. Okay, well, 5 people. Who is making mobile games? Well, okay. Yeah, okay. Who owns the studio with at least one employee? Well, we are growing. Who visited at least one game conference? Okay, much better. Who is looking for a publisher? And who is looking for an investor? At least one hand, right? Okay, I understood all this. Much better. Thank you so much. Enjoy the drinks. Welcome to GameDev Estonia. Was it 6th edition?
Yeah.
6th edition. And one big applause for Andres for putting up all the.
Hey, thank you very much. Today we're live streaming. I hope it's good enough there. I don't know. We will see later. It's always like that. I'm like, yeah, we have a really good live stream. Then I watch the recording and I'm like, oh, okay, happened. Well, but at least we're doing that. So people online, they can comment. And after my presentation, I will see the comments. And I will try to answer them. And at least we will have a recording of this event today. Because of course we have here at least, I don't know how many right now people, there was 8 registration, I think at least 50, 60 are here. And some of them will get a bit late, but much more people are online and on our Discord server. So, let's talk about some stuff that just happened. We have here a team from GameCam, and I'm very happy that we just had a really nice event and really nice experience with GameCam recently. For a very long time, for like almost a year, I wanted to organize a game jam. And I really wanted to make it a good one, you know, like really a quality game jam with documentation and stuff and everything. And I understood that I have no experience. So I took my time, and we started talking with GameCam and with Marek from GameCam, I think somewhere in August, and made this game jam finally in January. December, January, yes, right. So sometimes some of the events and some of the ideas, they take half a year, maybe even more. And we have here a very nice video from the event. It was made so well that I decided, why not, let's watch it again here. Yeah, you know, when you have a good share with the people. Yeah. And what is good is that we are already thinking about the next one. Yes. I see some similar faces. Yeah, I see you there. Yeah, that's fancy. So, this event was only possible only due to the GameCam investment. Most of the expenses were covered by GameCam. But what is great, thanks to Market and everyone else, we got first time, I think, pretty nice sponsors. We had Meetup, we had the Red Bull, and even free pizza. And it's great, those are small details, but still it's very important to get those sponsors, the more we have, the more visible we are. And if one sponsor came, like a Red Bull, then it's a really good, say, thing when we'll try to talk with other sponsors in the future to tell, like, we have that, they're really cool, Red Bull is a sponsor. Then maybe other companies like Leap, they might be interested too. Maybe one day even cut it with their chocolates. And we'll have unlimited chocolates. So, that's a feature. And again, it was totally free to the participants. The biggest hurdle was to provide a place to sleep for everyone. And that was the biggest expense. And I'm very happy that we managed. It's really cool games done and some really nice presents. Oh, I still need to give you guys the keys to the games you won. Sorry, I was overworked. I have the keys, we'll give them to you. We have a team that take care of this here, yes. Recently, the Robot won the game the year that we in Poland. There is a competition, so you won his game, yes. So the Robot will give you the keys. Yeah, you want those keys. If you liked your game the most from the occasion. Yes. Yeah. Full cycle academy, we will grow. We are talking with Maret. So as I understand, there will be up to 120 students from September. 150 students from September in Pacman. Let's see how it will go. It sounds a bit crazy, but I hope it will go as planned. And yes, just recently there were news that Ringtail Academy and Full Cycle Academy will work together. Sorry, I'm right now wearing swag by Ringtail. That doesn't mean that they bought me. It just means that it's a good swag like this. Okay, better. Anyway, so we will work together, and Ringtail will find teachers to teach 3D and all kinds of stuff connected with the profession of 3D artist. And yeah, so that's great. We're working together and bringing more education, more and more developers to Estonia. So that's a bit about the game jam and Full Cycle Academy. I think we'll talk much more later this summer about the programs. And right now I will go into another topic. So let's talk a bit about the plans of the GameDev Estonia to the spring, and maybe what's cooking, what's happening, some details, some thoughts I got yesterday. It's a communication, when we meet to tell what's happening, what's in my head, because right now association consists mostly of me, and yeah, that's all. Anyway, and everyone's here that help me and take my back each time. So, first of all, some random stats for fun, because I don't know, I like numbers. Let's see. First of all, our website, GameDev Estonia, is visited by real people. People do go there. I don't know why they do that. They usually use the website. So, for you to know, last month we had 1,600 visitors coming to the website. And for the last 12 months, it was more than 21,000 unique visitors. That's not much, really, if you think about it. But still, that means that people go there. And from the emails I get to the inbox, mostly those are representatives of different associations, companies, governmental people, and investors. So, what I'm saying is that, okay, there are not so many people going to the website, but there are still, constant flow of people. So that means if you have a video game company in Estonia, and it's in our website database, check it out. Maybe you want to update the text, images, information. Because people do use the website, they use the database. So if you have a small company, and we have some donors here, some access here today, so you can always check the database on our website. If you want to update something, add information, please write me. It's useful. The website is really used by real people. For everyone who's coming right now, there, find places to sit, get a free drink, no worries, no pressure. And next thing, I was looking at Facebook recently, and I see that we are growing up very fast. I'm trying to do everything as much organic, so I'm not doing the paid promotion mostly, because the followers I want to get to the Facebook page or Instagram or LinkedIn. I want them to be real developers or students or anyone interested in the topic. Otherwise, I could buy, a few thousand likes, but that wouldn't help to reach more people. Anyway, from the statistics on the Facebook and Instagram recently, I see that most of us are men. And as you can see, 25 to 35 years old. From the age, it's perfect, the gender gap, not so much. So I really need to work more with girls. And so, yes, yeah, we need to work on representation in the game study. And another problem that I have right now is that most of the people coming are from Tallinn, and then there is Tartu. But as you can see, then it's Riga, Helsinki, and then Pärnu, and even Moldova. Wow, okay. Anyway, so we should really somehow try to work more with other cities in Estonia, because we are right now mostly very active in Tallinn, in Tartu, of course, and right now Pärnu is getting more and more proactive, and I think next year we will see the stats, it will be much more Pärnu. But still, we need to spread, we need to work across whole Estonia and get everyone involved. That's about the stats. That's what we want. Just wanted to share the information, what is happening on social media right now. So what's cooking? Something. Let's see. So, it's kind of roadmap right now for the spring, but some things may change. Okay, those things will not change, but I think that some things will be added. Like recently, I just went a few days ago to the jobs fair in Tartu. It was totally random, but very useful. So I think there will be much more things happening, but at least there will be a small table of GameDev Estonia at Startup Day. It's thanks to Annie Hansson and Delaware. They provided me this space for free. So it's very important because Startup Day is pretty expensive. And this year, we don't really have enough funds and possibilities to really have a big booth at the Startup Day. And another thing is that I never was on the Startup Day, so I thought it's a great idea to first go there and check out what's happening. Is it a good idea to invest our money into a bigger presentation next year? So sometimes, for the first time, I go alone with a small table just to check out, should we really use our funds to go to some big event? So Startup Day, there will be 2 computers. On those 2 computers, I will open Steam, and in Steam will be all Estonian games that I have right now with me. So it will be very, very open. I'm not allowed to bring leaflets. On Startup Day, it's not allowed. I will try to sneak some stickers inside, but I don't think it will work out. Let's try. Anyway, there are rules at Startup Day that if you will bring any leaflets, you will then pay a fine, and the fine is very crazy. It's like up to a few €1,000 fine if you just got some paper inside of the event. It's crazy, but those are the rules. So after that, we will have another GameDev meetup at the end of March. This meetup right now is, let's call it February, okay? I just got a bit late. It's February right now. Don't look at the March in your mobile phone. It's February. And the next one, the March one, will be at the end of March. And again, if someone wants to speak or have any topics they want to discuss, please contact me and you can speak here, no worries. And then after that will be one of the, I would say, biggest events I've planned. We met with the organization that is doing the Game Development World Championship on the Gamescom. It was in August. And I talked with them, they're mostly from Finland, that I would like to bring the finals to Tallinn. And we made it. The finals of the Game Development World Championship will be in Tallinn. It will be in Tallinn, and yeah. And it was a lot of work on the background. And unexpected hurdles and problems, but the tickets will be not free, sadly, because you know it's a big event. On the spot here in Tallinn, it will be in Helsinki, in Meetup. It's a weird name, and now a lot of people from other countries are like, well, it's a cool place, okay, that's a cool place. So, on the spot will be 100 people. So the place and venue fits around 100 people. 100. And online, of course, there will be many thousands of people watching this online. I will talk about it a bit more later. So there will maybe be BBB, Mandatory, in spring, small one. Last year we've been there, it was very nice. I just don't know the details right now, they don't have enough time to with organization, everything, but if there will be a Mandatory, we will be there. J-Zone is a festival of anime and pop culture. It's totally not connected to us, but I want to be there. I want to put 8 computers and let just random people play Estonian games. That's all. I want more to be part of the pop culture in Estonia. If there is some big event for a few thousand people, they should know about GameDev Estonia, about Estonian games, about Estonian studios, because some of those, maybe even children in the future, will be our developers. Oh, I'm so happy to see you. Game Break company, he wanted to meet sponsors recently. Thank you so many times. And now, GameDev Meetup 8 will be at the end of May. And there will be a special Estonia and Finland GameDev representatives meeting at the end of May. It's connected with events called Latitude something. Latitude. There is 59. Latitude 59, yes. And there will be more information. It's organized by our we just got the information, and Henry Hudson got information, and when I will know more, I will tell everyone that the owners of companies will be invited to meet with representatives from Finland, mostly from, if I understand correctly, region of Poland. Okay. So that's the spring. So we're not talking right now about summer and the autumn. In summer, definitely we will have another GameDev summer summit, you know, the big one. Some of you, and how many people were on summer summit last year from here? No? No? Actually, lots of people were there. It was nice one. It's good. It was sauna and forest and sauna and some grill and dancing at night. And someone was swimming naked, I remember. So it was a good one. So there will be definitely another one this summer, but it will be, the information will be much later. So now we're talking about spring. So, Game Developers World Championship Roadshow. It will be in Estonia on 22 of April. We will start at 6 o'clock in the evening, and I think the official part will end around 10, and then we'll do some kind of after party. It will be a great event. And yes, so this is the venue. Why I choose this specific venue? I don't know, how many of you have been in this Klubi? You've been there? And you've been there. It's a great venue. It's really cool. Why it's great? The people, when they are on the stage, there is a operator, there are professional cameras, there is a full team. The venue working there to provide a very nice high-quality live stream. And on all those screens here, you can see the hockey. So when you're sitting here at the back, you get additional screen up there, and on the table is the screen. So no matter where you sit at that venue, you get the perfect view of what is happening at the stage. So that's why that venue is pricey. That will be quite expensive event, but I think it will be great in Estonia. First of all, everyone else will see that Estonia exists. And for us, to feel a bit better, we have, and then we agreed with the organization that there will be additional special prize for the best Estonian game. So there will be additional, it's like it will be interconnected with a brand new Estonian, let's say, championship, Estonian Game Awards, I would say. And instead of doing it separately, as it's done in Latvia and Lithuania, right now they're having, even maybe today, I think in Lithuania, they have Lithuanian Game Awards. I decided it will be even better to make it as a part of the global event. So, yeah, cool. So the ticket will be pretty expensive. It will be, for the early bird, it will be 15 euro. Yes, I think you're able to. So, and after that, it will be 20 euro, and later at the end, 25 euros. So the price will be very low. And now the biggest pressure is on me, with sponsors, to get everything according to the plan. And in the end, we'll have a great event with really nice people coming from all around the world. And more information will come shortly. And in a few days, I will advertise the event, and you will be able to buy the ticket. On the event, you will be able to showcase your game. You will have some small talks. You will have some music. Yes, that's the thing. Let's go. Now, what is the point of doing all this random stuff? Okay, that. So, what's done at the moment? We have information hub, that's our website and Discord channel. We have support channel, that's Patreon. We have information web, that means we have Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, they're all alive. So even likes my posts, very happy. And we have some kind of connection established with the educational sector. Minor students know about them and we work with them. The university is pretty proactive, decent, I would say. Very happy. Absolutely, University Tartu is error. Tartu University is extremely proactive. They're doing a lot of work, and I would say they really grow the Tartu community a lot. And Tartu is very active and expected. It's just came there, I went there, and so looking at the portfolios of the students, it was great experience. Very happy to be part of that. And it's Caritas Keskus, they are very active. It's not about but they are planning to have new courses about 3D modeling, artists, and all that stuff. And we'll be happy to get more information and more connections to Baltic. Right now, we don't have really some kind of established connection with that. And Napa College. Those are the next two. I will be happy to somehow make more cooperation. And around half of the video game development studios in Estonia are acting in our association. And all of them, some of them just don't see the value right now. There are studios in Estonia that at the moment still don't really feel like it, and the other one understands that not all of the studios are ready to be active, to be open, to talk. And that's one of the biggest works I have right now is to get those studios in, get those people in. And we are growing, we're working on that, but it will take years to get all of us together in one place. So now, plan for this year. First of all, community growth, meetups, constantly, not all of the time. I don't want to make meetups just to make meetups, okay? I don't want to just once per month do automatic robotic meetup and do some random topic. I'm doing meetups when I see the value, I see the right time. So at the same time, when you're coming, then you have something valuable for yourself too. It's not like you came, okay, had a free drink, watched the wall, the paint dry, and go home. There has to be a value for you to come here. Cross promotion and job market, that's very important. I really want to somehow improve the situation about the job market in Estonia. I want to know what company is looking for who, and what students are looking for the practice. It's very important for us to know what is happening all around, and the plan is that for help from different developers, and we'll try to do some kind of page on the website where you just write your, like, I need a place for a practice this summer, and then our work as GameDev Estonia to find you practice. That's the plan, and it's ideal world. I know it's hard to do, but we will try our best, because there are many great students right now from Tartu, from Tallinn, from Pärnu, that finished even GameCam, the Full Cycle Academy. And they all need work, they need practice. And it's our duty to find work for people. That's the thing. The second one is sponsorship deals. It's not about the money, really. It's about getting known better and better. I was recently talking with different companies. When I was trying to do that last year, I was talking with, I don't know, Telecox, you know, or how it's called, Telia, the big ones, you know, Nordea Bank, and even Microsoft. When I was talking with them a year ago, most of them never answered, and those who answered were like, I understand that. But this year it's better. They started answering, because they see that already on Facebook we have some kind of following and amount of people and something's happening. We already have a very nice portfolio of events that were made. There is already some kind of official paperwork done, so they see that there is a website, there is a community, there is something there. When I tell, like, we have a Discord server, there is 1,000 people. They start talking with me. Before it was like, yeah, here you go, here is a free present, you know, have fun, play in your kindergarten, you child. That was the answer. Now it's better, but still far from perfect. But we need to work on that, because the more sponsors we get, the more connections we get, the more visible we will be in Estonia, and even for the government itself, you know. So visibility in the country, that's the third one. Big events. That's why we're having this championship finals in Estonia. It will be very beneficial for us, because then we can, as GameDev Estonia, send, you know, press releases to all of the local media, to ETV, to Postimees, that we are having not just, you know, Estonian awards, but global. Like, there will be international guests. That will get attention. And that's the plan. The best event we had last year in the sense of media was GameDev in the autumn, when we had a full big room of Estonian games. After that, we had so many news covering us. It really helped a lot. And that happened thanks to Andri and the team of GameDev, that they agreed to do that. That was a giant project. And this year, I think we will do it again. So, and the last one, of course, is building up value for the members, because I don't want to lose you guys. It's the worst part when, you know, people come to your event, they go to the meetup, they see that there is maybe no interest for them, and they never come back. So, for me and for the association and for everyone that is very proactive and helping me, it's very important for people to stay inside and be part of this community and continue going to the events, continue helping and getting some benefits for this. So that's for this year. And yeah, what I'm trying to say is that because I'm right now mostly alone managing all the social media, if you have any news, like there is an event coming, you made a game, you have an idea, you have a prototype, you need something, write me. Sometimes I miss, you know, game releases or some interesting events, not because, you know, you didn't pay me, it's because I just didn't see it in time. It just happens, you know. Because right now the team is very small, and GameCam is helping like extremely. He's doing crazy work for local community. But it's very active. Uh, there are many people who are really helping there with him. But all of us, we have other projects we need to survive ourselves. And sometimes we just don't have enough time to search through the interwebs and find the valuable information. If you have any news, if you need something, just write about it. We will share the news. GameCam is very proactive. GameCam just gives me information like, okay, we are having this. And everywhere, and everyone sees that, and everyone's happy. Because for me, the more posts I make on social media, the better it is for association. So other people see that something's happening. And that's the thing. You see some information, you can always comment, like, share. You have some information, just tell about it, we will share it. No worries, no problems. You need place for practice, or you need write on Discord channel, or even you can write to me specifically privately. And maybe I will not answer everyone, but I will try. So that's the thing. Association is growing, okay? And the last one, we have a Patreon. And if you have at least some possibility, you can always become a member on our Patreon. Again, it's not about the money. Right now we get around €200 per month. That's not a lot, but that covers at least your food on the table. So, as you can see, the more people we will have there. Right now it's only 32 people, but some of them are not people, though, are studios. The more we will have, the more value I can bring to a possible partner or sponsor in the future. If I go to some kind of ministry, some kind of culture, and tell them, you know, we have natural, and people are really willing to help the association. You can see there are like 50 people donating money. The talk will be different because they get many people like me coming to them. So the more value, or let's say, the better picture I can present to I know, sponsors, partners, investors, the better. Because the plan is that this year we will grow, we will improve, we will have a better community, better communication. And from the next year, I think at the end of this year, I really want to make a portfolio of Estonian studios that are proactive. I want to make a portfolio of the possibilities and the games, and really start going around the world and searching for investors and the publishers. Because right now, when I travel, I went to many different events. I was at DevCon, I've been at Gamescom. Right now, I don't have enough value to propose. And I don't want to look like a small kid, you know, in the playgrounds. And that is that once I have, you know, this really strong foundation, then I can go and I can search for investors, I can search for possibilities and value. Anyway, so that's, sorry for the long presentation. Here's a potato for you. And one more thing that I will cover is that now we have in the market current job openings. So, Creative Mobile, I think a lot of people can talk with you, yes? Yeah. Okay, so Creative Mobile right now is looking for 3D artists at the art scene, Italian senior Unity developer, middle server developer. Okay. Those positions that are St. Petersburg, they are still remote. Location is irrelevant. So, head of art is needed, senior 2D environment artist, senior 2D artist, talent acquisition specialist, senior technical artist, QA lead. What's a UA lead? User acquisition lead, yes. Middle QA engineer, QA, yeah, that's senior UI artist, senior QA engineer, senior Unity developer, senior Unreal Engine developer, and senior server developer with VR project. So those are open positions at Creative Mobile. Then, if you think that maybe something is suitable for you, I think if even if you need some kind of practice as a student, you can at least try to write Creative Mobile. Who knows? Maybe they'll answer. I know many people who had practice at Creative Mobile. They have really good, I would say, everything really good. Salary is great. So that's the first one. Then we have job openings at Ringtail Studios. Fully remote of senior concept artist, producer. Producers are very needed. Senior C++ right now I can see. HR is not right now needed already. Art lead, 3D craft lead. Unreal Engine is very needed again. As you can see, Unreal Engine is needed for everyone. And senior 3D animator, really needed in the Ringtail right now. So that's another one. Then there are open positions right now at GameCam. As I know, there are two of them right now. Two open positions at GameCam. Yes? No? Yes. Maybe more, but right now the two most important that I got today. The information is that Unreal Engine Senior Gameplay Developer is needed, and Unreal Animation Programmer is extremely needed right now to GameCam. That's the information I got. Then, if someone is working in Unity and needs extra money, Placeholder Gameworks is looking for a Unity developer for half of the workday. You know, 0.5, how it's called in English? Part-time, thank you. And they pay like 1,000 something euro. So there is a Unity developer needed. So those are open positions. Those are not many, but still, at least, we have open positions at Ringtail, at GameCam, and Crazy Mobile. The placeholder Gameworks is right now growing and trying. And I think there are even more right now, but I just don't have the information at the moment. At some point, I will make a post, maybe this or next week, with all of the open positions in one post. So it will be easy for you to check it out. So that's the thing. That's all from me, and thank you for your attention. And today we have, I don't know if you understood, it's not like a live music, but it's live music. Made with Game Boys. Say it carefully, yes. So as you can see there on the table, we have two Game Boy consoles. And as for the box, she is making this music on the fly in real time. So all the music that you heard right now was just right now made with those two Game Boys. Not particularly, so those are samples. Like a DJ. So that's all. Right now we have like some free time, and we will prepare the main presentation of the day. Yes. Okay. Okay. Next. And then. So, ja, und Presentatsioone ei tööta. Ma olen proovinud erinevad programmid, aga kõik ei ava videot.
All my practice, but for nothing. Great job.
So we are continuing, and now we will have our main presentation of today. Previously, on the previous meetup that we had in November, we had I'm sorry, three presentations, and it was a bit too much. So today, I decided to try just one. Like I wrote too long, sorry. And then we have one presentation, and we had the plan to have because synthesizer since yes here, but it got lost somewhere. The person who told me to take the synths is not here sadly, so we cannot make the real live music at the moment. So sorry about that, but other than that, the presentation will be.
Okay, thank you. My name is Christian Thomas Armstrong. I'll just show you how you make that, like that. But before we even start, I want to say that it'd be a little weird because I did a PowerPoint and found the videos into the PowerPoint. I tested it on my PC, it worked. I sent it to my laptop, it worked. And now here it doesn't work. So we can't watch the videos in here. We'll have to awkwardly open them up with YouTube or SoundCloud, and but we'll manage. We'll manage. And so I've been a composer for 6 years. I started when I was 14. Get into that, and mainly I do orchestra. And he wants to decide stuff, but I'm gonna try to not make this presentation too long. But how did I start? Is shortly put is I was 14. I started really quick making electronic stuff, and I found it wasn't that interesting. It was boring even. And at the time, I was playing Darkest Dungeon in early access. It's a game, fantastic game. And that was when it was literally in early access. That was a long time ago. It's like it was actually about 6 years ago. So I was really interested in the music to chat with the composer with me. And that's what inspired me to start making orchestra because I thought eventually the game would get huge and would get like tons of mods and people would make their own dungeons. And guess what? That is exactly what happened. And if it went even a little above that, people started making their own protocol called Black Reliquary. We'll get to that in a moment. But let's start with Shattered Pixel Dungeon. Maybe someone will know the original Pixel Dungeon, or maybe even the new one, which is the Shattered one. Basically, the dates are a little like don't mean exactly that much. Pixel Dungeon, the first version, started in 2012 and released in 2014 as a beta, I think. No, that's when it released in 2015 when it came out on Steam. And it came out as open source. So basically, Shattered Pixel Dungeon is the most popular form of it. Because the original Pixel Dungeon, well, it was a complete game, it was actually very unfinished. It only had 2 tracks, even though it had 5 areas in the game, it had a theme, it had an exploration theme, and that was it. So the game was super unfinished, and I think the developer just wanted to move on and he made the greatest decision ever to make it open source. And that's where Shattered Pixel Dungeon came from. So I'd love to look at these. Okay, so the original music and the reworks. So basically, when I've been to the Shattered Pixel Dungeon, how did I get the job? I sent an email. I knew that there was in development for a long time. I actually played Shattered when I was like 16. And I was like, oh, he's still doing it. I wonder if he's got a composer yet. And I sent an email. And to my shock, he hasn't got a composer. And I asked like, potentially do the soundtrack for it. And Supervisor said yes. And that's how easy that was. But it was pure luck because anyone else done it before me and probably gotten the same results. But I'm going to show you. Well, let's see how this goes. Okay. All right. So this is the exploration theme from the original game, and it played for every single layer of the game, including boss fights. And the only doesn't work. Okay.
Let's try. Now.
Uh-huh. Nope. Still a disaster.
That happens, no worries. Let's see one more time. Ah, it's good. Let's see.
I think it's coming from your laptop.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, go ahead, change that. Oh, all right. Okay, good. Right, so you get the idea. Now, the music I think is good, but it gets super annoying for a multitude of reasons. The game is a turn-based that basically it's top-down 2.5D dungeon crawler. And the ones that the game is brutally difficult. We've been playing it millions of times. I would say I'm a really good person in games, and even that game hit me so much. It took me about 100 hours to beat game once. Imagine if you were playing the original, these times would have had to put that on track. It would be in the tens of thousands because it's only a month and a half in its own. So, I played a very dangerous game. The dangerous game being remaking a song that an original person makes that everyone loves, and then not getting paid for it, so to speak. Because the most horrendous thing you can do is anger your fans. And fortunately, I took a direction that worked really well. I took the problems of the original theme, which was that it became really annoying. It was too fast for a turn-based game because you're thinking a lot. Sometimes you're thinking, there's like, you do like 20,000 turns in one game just have to finish. One turn sometimes can take like, I don't know, 2 minutes because there's like the grand plan of thinking of. So, that's the philosophy behind the music. It's slower, it's a little bit more ambient, but it still tries to remain tense. So let's see how that sounds. Let's just show them. Oh. Great. So if you were paying attention, you could have heard the exact same melody from the original. Taking it into a totally different. The music was really fast than the actual bass of the previous one, but it took exactly the same things and changed nearly almost nothing in the melody and just put it in a different situation. So this is a bit of an example where you can take something and if you recontextualize it, you don't even have to actually change much of the melodies at all. You keep it all the same. this probably applies to all kinds of video games themselves. You can take an idea, you can contextualize it, but keep the energy or the soul very similar. You don't have to change everything just to accommodate the idea. And before it was like for the thing, it's this, you see the game, no, that's how it looks. Weird choice of instruments, I think, a little bit. There's orchestra, there's synths, there's chiptune, and all kinds of different things. And the reason for that was to immerse the player in the game when he's thinking, when he's making these big decisions that could end his run. He has music that makes it work a little more, think a little more freely instead of the music constantly bombarding and making the situation a little bit dissonant with the player. Right. Let's see what's next. So this brings me to leitmotifs. Leitmotif meaning I'll just shorten it to motif at this point. It's a reoccurring piece of music, particularly a melody. So it's really important to utilize these well, because if you have no connection with the motifs, like let's say there's a logic for the motifs. Let's say you have an area music and then you have boss music. You don't have to make an entirely new track just because. If someone is an area boss, you should make sure that the music before the boss actually is played in the boss fight. There might be reasons to avoid this, but mostly there is a reason to do this. Because how is the area boss if it is not even reflected in the music? I think that's a pretty good question. If someone's an area boss of an area, then it should also be someone reflected in the music. It doesn't have to be on the notes, but it can be hidden in the background. And the boss theme itself can be focused. That's the new thing. So incorporating the appropriate motif helps a lot with the game. And how do you do this is just by lore. Let's say you have a boss fight, this guy's really evil, seems on the spot in the game, like it doesn't say anything, just evil. You look into the lore and you find out actually the story is a little bit more sadder than that. He tried to protect everyone, failed, something like that, and now he's just an agent of chaos, right? So why should the music exactly be just like this really boring, angry music that's evil? It should also be a little somber. It should also tell that there's more to the character than just what you see, and you can do that in the music as well. So that is really important when making a soundtrack, and that differs. That's the difference between a good soundtrack and a boring one, is when there is no connection to anything. So, right. So I'm going to show you really quick. I'm not going to play the entire thing of this exact thing, of utilizing the exploration/combat music in boss music. It will play this. Let's skip a little. Correct. So we got the idea, and now let's make it into something exciting for the boss fight. Now, one important thing to note is, again, I'll spend a little bit of is, well, there's a bit of a lack thereof. This boss in particular is basically a mech created by the Dwarves infused with magical energy. And I tried to make exploration music almost give a premonition of this boss. we hear the big banging drum that's digging basically, like all around everything, like right all down below. And you're basically hearing a little bit of a magical element to the place itself, because it is the area where the dwarves mine all the resources, and they utilize lots of different magics. So I'll try to put that into music. Now, wonder if someone can guess what kind of this might be. And you can think of this in your head. I'll give you 2 seconds. If your answer was techno, you were correct. Right, so a little bit of an extreme jump, but for the boss fights we had, basically I had free reign and I tried to be as sometimes as ridiculous as possible. And the importance of this particular genre of music for this boss fight was because the boss chased you like crazy. It was faster than you, and the only way you could really run away from it was running in between walls, because it was size 2 basically. You have to break through the walls to get to you. So there was this kind of, I guess, was basically do a techno type thing. And this is the most popular track in the game, surprisingly. There's the importance of, well, it's maybe a little small for some. I'll read these out. Reading the comments is very important because you can realize what you have done right. For example, sounds a bit magical and a bit mechanic, just like the bus. And the sweetest rave party in the whole dungeon. And, interesting comment, the last music you hear before you get poisoned, electrocuted, buried in rocks, and again, real by TM300. So we got these fantastic comments that really read the energy that I was trying to put into the music. So, trust me, we'll get into more interesting music in a little bit, other than this type of thing. Skipping over this is outdated. Great, so sorry. Now putting into a little bit of a skill gem. Scoring is, there's 2 types of scoring. One type of scoring is you make a piece of music for a scene, and then the scene gets made, and your music is already there, so the scene is made with the music already existing. Then there's scoring where that's the opposite. Well, okay, technically there's 3 things, but I mean the main types. Basically, you got scoring like that, and then you got live scoring, which is something that can, I'm sure you watched movies and has watched movies once in a while. Never. Yeah, me either. Anyway, so you have movies, and they don't really have sometimes music at all, songs, I mean. It's just like things are happening on screen, the music reflects that. And it's more like quick cut together jingles and short pieces of music that if you, let's say, add it separately from the film, you just listen to it on its own, it would sound a little bit ridiculous. Like, what is going on? And you would not really be sure what it is even for. That's what live scoring means. You're making it for a very particular set of circumstances that happens to be the video and what is expected of you from the composer to match that. So let's begin with scoring. So this is a little bit might be difficult, but it's surprisingly simple because most scenes don't really have anything that you have to time align something to. It's just a general track that plays. But for some, there might be. There might be something that you need to sync properly. And the ways to do that is usually every digital audio workstation has, like, for example, for FL Studio, you have a Z-Game visualizer or something it's called, where you can put the video in and then you can compose alongside it, for example. Right, so as an example for scoring, I'm going to show you the original intro for the Pennsylvania opening title. I have to wait a little bit. The attention to if anything is synced up here. Was that it? Right, so you get the idea. That's what scoring is. Technically, the thing is, the song might have existed before even that. Any of this was even conceptualized. So it really depends. You have to work with your team, like effortlessly, to make sure that you know what you're doing, you know what is needed. Are you going to make something based on the track, or are you gonna just wing it and see what happens? Sometimes the results might be pretty good. Anyway, I'm going to show a rescore that I did as basically practice. I would say some things about the original that I think it could be a little better. I feel like the theme isn't really that impactful. For example, the melody that's played and the sync happens when Dracula appears in his hand comes out. The same music plays that was playing beforehand. Now, this isn't exactly always bad music composition, but sometimes it is, and I feel like in a score, this is kind of bad, to be honest. Because you have this big build-up of the same thing that is going to be playing in the chorus. You already know what's going to happen, so the support with the vocals here, the build-up to basically nothing is a little disappointing for me. But this is a composer type of thing, because other people might really love this. Right. But this is where I got the idea to even rescore from, because I couldn't rescore perfection. I want to rescore something I think I could maybe improve a little bit. Now, this is something I would have played. We don't have the synthesizer. Is how simple it is really to create a theme, a memorable one. And all it takes is just the right instruments to deliver it. So, I'm going to play this one. Unfortunately, can't. So, sorry about that. So I'll show you. The idea with this was I wanted to cement Dracula's theme when he appears on screen, that this is his theme. And second, I wanted to throw off the person listening of what's exactly coming in terms of video and in terms of... And I think I want to say something else, but I forgot. So I also made a little darker. Right. So the differences I made is much. Thank you. I want to explain really quick. The idea behind this was that I'm going to ask for people to raise their hands who have seen Castlevania, like the Netflix show. Wow, I expect a little more. Okay, well, you would know that the series is really dark, at least in the gore and in like, yeah, in the gore in general. And the tone is a little funny, but it's because of the characters. But the world is horrifying. It's terrible. Living there is so bad. It would probably be the worst place you could like be in, except maybe Doom. Like that would be really bad as well if you were in that world. The demons would rip you to shreds. But yeah, so I made it a lot darker, and I wanted to cement Dracula's theme. And basically in the show, well, I'm gonna try not to spoil this, but one thing happened like literally at the start. Someone, let's just say, someone very dear died to Dracula, and does ridiculously rash things because of it. And I wanted to make that sadness and that hatred like appear in the music. You would like, I'm not sure if you felt there was a little bit of hatred in the even the sad tone of the music. It was really powerful, and that's how I wanted to make sure people feel exactly what he's feeling. So almost that's the point of a theme. You want to know who he is, you want to understand what he feels. So that was my idea with that. I'm not saying that the original was like actually bad. I just feel like here's a potential different take on it. So that puts things into perspective. Also, in general, if you're doing something and you're not exactly feeling it yet, maybe you could do it a little better. Okay, so we got the Black Reliquary. Black Reliquary is a Darkest Dungeon overhaul. This means that it changes nearly everything about the game, changing the mechanics. Well, it'll show in the trailer a little bit. And it's going to be on Steam very soon. It's a mod that will get its own Steam page. And unfortunately, Red Hook, the developers of Darkest Dungeon, will let me sell the soundtrack on the Steam page, which is absolutely ridiculous to me. And thank you, Red Hook, for everything. And I want to thank the team as well, hello, if they're looking, for making this fantastic mod. So, let's begin. Oh, this is backwards. Right, so I utilize motifs a lot in a lot of my music, and especially in Black Reliquary. So here's the thing, we have really good themes. I have the main menu, which I'll show you as well. We have the Flame Seeker, which is the hub of the game. And basically, the idea is, why do I really need to make a new type of, like, it's hardly a track for a trailer and make it into this, like, I'm sure some know this, like, super generic trailer. I think personally it's awful. It's really bad. It gets the point across, but whenever I hear it, I die a little bit on the inside. Because some guy on Fiverr did it for like $30. That's how it sounds most of the time too. So why not take something from the game and turn it into a trailer version that cements, like, when you reuse the teams a lot, you eventually remember them, like, really well. You will almost sometimes be incapable of forgetting them. If you hear them somewhere, you will recognize them immediately. And that's what's important, is because with that, you'll also remember the game. It's not just about the music, it's about everything else. So let's take a quick listen to the Flame Seeker, the pop music background. Right. So that is the hub music. And key features here. Did you feel it was light? Did you feel like you were on an airship by chance? I'm trying to aim in the music. So if I can explain a little bit, I used local drums. I used main motif melody for it, but only the melody. There was no bass, there was no nothing. It was only the melody and nothing else. The thing that holding it together was the beating drum that was keeping it alive. Because otherwise it would sound a lot less in their guns, a lot worse if there was no drum there. It's just that unless maybe I had even instruments, but even then we can kind of worry. So that drum really cements the fact that if you hit it in air, it just like fizzle out everywhere into nothingness. So I try to put that into the music to feel that you're flying in the air, but in a relaxed manner, because here you are planning your next mission. You're thinking what gear to put, what's upgrades, and where you're even going next. So it also is important to mention before, again, to whatever the player is doing at the moment, to facilitate that, make sure that whatever they're doing is accurate with the music. So if the music was like intense here for some reason, then you failed. You have to try again. I'm gonna say this honestly. It's like as well as with these things, like when you make a motif or a track in general and you want it to be memorable, you just have to almost close your eyes and imagine if it really does work. So let's go to the trailer. So with this trailer, which here's again the scoring division. Now this scoring, for example, the first score I showed you was the video already exists and I just made the track specifically for it. This track existed already a year ago before this trailer was even made of, and I actually already had an idea for it. That's why this track already existed. And the idea was we're not going to make a new track, we're going to use the Flame Seeker motif. And since you've also already heard the Flame Seeker motif, this will make a whole lot of sense to you as well. So let's take a look. And this will serve as an introduction to what Black Reliquary is, and you can understand what the game is about. If you play Darkest Dungeon, this will make a whole lot more sense.
Valley's crest. In Megalith, beyond any of man's limits, thousands of darkness. A headstone to mark the grave of an imperial evil. Its innermost sanctum weeps tears of transcendent corruption. The lands are tainted, fire, and its treasures are paid for in blood. Between the biting gales of sand and the ravenous field from below, the valley's taste for death and suffering has not waned. But to us, this is enough, my friend. From our cabins to our kitchen, my crew is at home here, and you shall soon be as well. Even in these dire days, we are not with friends and allies. And allies we shall need. Adversity will stand to face us at every turn. In the dunes, in the dust, in the dark, in the depths. Horrors not meant to tread the soil of our world will defeat us, devour us, defy us. But our flame will not quench. In those torrents of despair, we shall burn brightest as we seize redemption and freedom from the age-old trappings of the Black Reliquary.
Right, so that was the trailer for the game, and if you heard the last little bit, that was the same motif, once more, I reuse motifs a lot, but it makes a little, like a, sorry, not a little, a pretty huge difference if it was some other random thing that nobody knows anything about. So we've already basically, the philosophy is to just build motifs, make sure they make sense. If you have a chance to reuse a motif in a way that works, do it. Because if you don't, your music might just be forgettable, even if it's well made. This is an unfortunate truth because you have to rely on the fact that your music is so memorable that it cannot be forgotten. If you're confident in that, then you can ignore this right away because you are a god, absolute god. So, right, I mentioned live scoring. So what does that mean? So, I do have an example for you, which I've done. This is a really early cutscene replacement for the House of Ruin cutscene in Darkest Dungeon. You can start the game, then you get the first cutscene immediately, and this is the replacement for it. And it's really early, but here's basically they're working on this animatic basically on their own. And when it's done, the music I will also make for it. But since it's a cutscene, it's really specific. There's two ways to handle this. You can do one, you can just have some random track and just hope it aligns, which is not exactly what the original game did, but they didn't make a custom track for it. It was just a track from the game, it's just overlaid, which works well. It can work well if it does. That's basically it. But if you can't do that, for example, in this case, because it is so curated that any sort of track which does not work, you would have to do something like this. So sorry for the work in progress stuff, but there's no narration, unfortunately. Yeah. Bless you. Right, so I think you saw something interesting about the end section there. The narration is actually going to be like that. Exactly how the music portrayed it is pretty much exactly how it's going to be read. It's going to be read with a little bit of sadness, but with determination, with hope. And that's what you have to do in these cases, is to match what's going on screen. And you have to match it constantly. It's not just like one theme. There's lots of different things, just random scenes. This is basically akin to movie scoring, if it had something like that, because usually sometimes some movies don't even have anything like that. They just have like tracks play and that's it. But sometimes the scenes are so specific that you just can't have one track for all of it. You gotta like constantly be changing everything. So that's what live scoring means. I would say, if I had to give a tip for anyone, then this is the most difficult thing you could do. I'm honestly not even joking. It wasn't difficult for me, but it might be difficult for you because you have to be at a point where you can imagine things in your head so well that all it takes is just to write it down. Because if I didn't have this skill, I would have no clue what to do. I just imagine when I see the scene, what would I hear? I hear it and then I do it. If you can't hear it, then this might be really difficult. So if you want to also do live scoring, then you've got to keep practicing for years and years till you get to the point where you can finally just imagine on the spot, boom, okay, you got this scene. Okay, what should it sound like? Oh, I know. And that's it. That's all how easy it eventually gets. But to any composers here or people who do music, this will be brutal. Being a composer is very difficult. There is video, then there's audio. In audio, there's sound design, sounds, and then there's music. Guess who the music is? One person. And it all falls on your shoulders to not make it catastrophe. And which is why getting work like that is also very difficult, because if you even show a little bit of fault, you will make either boring music, bad music, you will have some bad tracks, or people will never select you. This is a brutal honesty I have to mention in this presentation, because this is a very difficult career path. But for some, this might seem like, oh, I'm gonna throw in the towel, give up. For others, this is motivation. This is only something to strive towards, that you gotta be better, and you gotta beat out everyone else. And well, this applies to every single part of video game development. There is only one composer. So you gotta try hard, and you gotta always improve and master your craft. So that was a little bit of motivational speak from me. So let's get to the importance of art. I'm sorry this is taking a little bit, but Jesus. So importance of art. You gotta work with your art team. You can't make a track, well you can, on the basis of a description. You gotta also, if they're capable, they're really good, they can just boom on the spot send you like a rough draft. And we got, for example, the Ghoul Mother here. Now I would like you to, well, okay, most of you aren't composers here, but just a thought experiment. Try to imagine what this would like sound like. What if you had to make a boss track for this enemy? What would it sound like? And then we got, for example, the Enchantress. For example, the Enchantress, I'm thinking, there's two bosses in the Catacombs. There's the Janissary, which is a duelist, and then the Enchantress is basically, I think, the second in command, or maybe the main one in command. Oh, sorry, I don't even know my own game lore. But the music here would be very straightforward. It would cut and bite just like the snake would. So trying to make the music really punchy, really sharp is important. Then a utilization of, let's say, female vocals is actually very logical here. And because of the Catacombs thing, and Janissary is like also one of the people in command, there's also male vocal in the track I made for this, which I'm not going to show, I think. I'm sorry. But this is my philosophy. When you think what you're going to make, look at the character. What do you see? And see if those attributes can be put into music. And for example, here's a really ridiculous boss, a greater sampler. The music in this utilizes a hurdy-gurdy and lots of different Middle Eastern instrumentation and a lot of Western instrumentation later, just to annihilate the threat. Because if I just add Middle Eastern instruments playing, it would sound a little silly, which is absolutely true, because it doesn't really pick the horrific nature of the situations for that one. And breaking points. If you see pictures of success to make a prostate for, then keep practicing until you can. If you aspire to be a composer, then you should learn lots of different genres. You need to put yourself in a lot of difficult situations. If you fail, then you do it again. If you fail, then you do it again. And you gotta keep doing it until you do it. And that is literally it. The only thing holding back a musician is practice. So, I want to show a campaign theme I did with Frederick Knudsen, which is the person who makes the Down the Rabbit Hole videos. If you've seen his videos, you know he has a hurdy-gurdy video, and that is in this video, in this piece of music. Also, to mention, before we start this thing, I think it's really weird when people are real. Like you've got this person, millions of subscribers, and he's real. I think that's a little strange. But It seems they are real. So let's take and for example, a little quick philosophy for this. I wanted it to feel safe. I wanted it to feel very active because we're in a dungeon. I wanted to use Middle Eastern instruments. I wanted to use some synths to give a little bit of a natural feel to some stuff. Because I feel like electronic, when used sparingly, can be an unnatural occurrence. Right, so let's take a look. I'll skip a little bit to start. Right, so did it feel like camping music? I think it did. So what I tried to do here as well, if you've noticed, well, everything is made purposefully soft, but delivered with immense punch. As you heard, that was rather powerful for a very relaxing song, which is also another trick composers should know to do, because sometimes you don't have to be on the nose with things. When camping music exists, it doesn't, for example, have to be. It can also be something that you would listen on your own and will not going to bed. So you can basically mix the energies. You can make it relaxing and really impactful at the same time. So you can mix lots of different things rather than be just a one-trick pony, basically is what I'm trying to say. So I hope you like that. Let's see what's next. Oh, right. So sometimes you suck. Sometimes I've been showing you a perfect track record, right? But unfortunately, sometimes you make something really bad, like really bad, and you should feel a little embarrassed. But basically, what I want to say is if you fail, then just rise up and do it again. What you can do is also ask for help, which in this particular case I did. I asked the art director, I'm a little lost, honestly. And he told me, well, actually, let's get to that point. Let's take a look at this first. So basically, the music was for the caverns area, which is filled with de-evolved humans. Keep these in mind. De-evolved humans who eat amber, which is basically the thing that corrupts you when you eat it, because it tastes really good. And you turn into de-evolved humans that look like insects, like various insects. And once you get into that point, you start to evolve into more horrendous types of creatures. And the second I start playing this music, you'll hear that something is like really wrong. It doesn't really sound appropriate. Let's take a little bit of a listen here. Soon, I swear. I'm gonna pause it already because I'm taking up a lot of time. Right, so just, did that sound hateful to you? No. Did that sound aggressive? No. So let's take a look at the new idea. My art director said to me something really important. They evolved humans, right? They can't speak, but they do have their vocal cords, and they can all scream. Ah, fantastic idea, fantastic idea. So let's take a look at what that sounds like. Prepare to hear hate. Right, so you get the idea. You probably haven't ever heard of that type of music before, which is also something you should try to do. There was it's basically this ridiculous idea, and well, I tried to see if you could do it, and well, the answer happened to be yes. Anything, the trailer I showed you, the narrator is the guy screaming this. He's really good. So, moving on. This is what I also want to show with the comments. It's just exactly, like you try to do something exactly as it's going on, and then the comment says the right thing. I love it. Love this track, especially those last 30 seconds. So frenzied, so hateful. It fits the draw as well. So you always want to get the right answer every time. If someone's saying like something a little different, like more than it should happen, then you've got to maybe try again. Which in this case was an amazing idea. Imagine if I released the previous thing. Honestly, I couldn't live with it. Now, because my place, someone made a funny Discord thing. Like, no, I won't. Alright, we can't watch it. I'm sorry. Right, so I'm really gonna quickly gloss over this. I'm gonna try not to take too long, but I'm gonna mention another tale. So I think I'm just gonna ask how many people have played up to here. Raise your hands. That's also really weird as well, especially for a game that one person pretty much made, which is a lot of game devs these days. Impressively, I would say. But right, so most of them played. Okay, well, basically, motifs are used to the most ridiculous degree I think I've ever seen. Period. Because it uses motifs in other tracks nearly like over 100 times. And I'm going to show you like a minute of these motifs reused very efficiently to the point where you almost don't even know that they're happening. Because even I, as a composer, have played through the game, I did not notice any of these. None. Even though we did it hundreds of times, I never noticed it because it was done wrong. So let's take a slow a minute, a 23-minute video. Yes, it is really that long. Uh-oh. What happened? Huh? Let's try that again. YouTube is currently available. What? This is the third problem. Doesn't got that many. Okay, let's try it out. You might be a genius if that was the problem. Oh,
No, just click somewhere on the.
The tabs that works.
oh yeah, good idea. Okay, I'll just. Okay. Yes. Okay. So yeah, pay attention. Oh, I'm sorry, that's a spoiler. Close your eyes. Okay, so that was 56 seconds of a 22-minute video. And all of this is rich reusage of all these different motifs. And it is also regarded as one of the best video game soundtracks ever made. So, am I speaking out of my ass, or do I make a whole lot of sense? So, motifs are really important. As you saw, it can really build a world. It can build it in a way to connect with the people playing it to a level most don't even understand. This is what Toby Fox, the creator of Undertale, understood. How important it is to do these things, and how, well, it's not something he said, but people gloss over it a lot. People underestimate the importance of a good soundtrack, and not just a good sounding one, but a meaningful one. Right, this is something I want to play again. I want to show you the theme. Oh my God, I wish I had the synthesizer. I'm really annoyed, I'm sorry. So basically the theme is I think like 7 notes and really simple chords. But it's in the delivery that it really shines. Okay, I hope this works. Why is it? Right, let's take a look at the theme. This screen's a little different. So, one thing I want to mention, the intro you heard, actually, there's a big text box that says some stuff, right? You can read it, and it also by it's time gated, and if you click it, it'll skip exactly to the chorus. So, theoretically, the theme starts then, because that's when it is most prominent. Okay, this is speaking a little metaphorically, I guess. But the most important thing about a theme is that the second the actual theme starts, it should grab you. I was about to say something a little inappropriate, but it should grab you instantly. This doesn't mean it has to be loud, doesn't mean it has to be exactly like this. It can be also the trick I showed you, very punchy but somewhat relaxing. You can achieve the same impact. So the impact is that the second the theme starts, the game you understand. You understand the theme, you understand the feel of it, and you understand the situation. And also, it must sound good, and it must make the player instantly interested. Even the people I've sent this to, they've said that they want to play the game just because of what they've heard, which is something you should strive for. So let's see what's next. I have forgotten what comes at this point. Usage of motifs. Right. We can gloss over this. This is already kind of long. It just shows, yeah, the same thing. No necessary. Okay, so this I would have played as well for you to show you how it works, but you'll just have to imagine. So, yeah, Black Reliquary is set in the Middle Eastern area of the world. It's a different world, one that's made up, but it's inspired, of course, by the real Middle East. And one of the most popular scales utilized there is the C Persian. Sorry, what I'm talking about, the Persian scale. And the important thing about the philosophy of Black Reliquary is it's a lot of Western and Eastern themes. In the original game, you are in the West, you're in the gloomy, gothic, horrendous like Europe, I think, and it looks awful. Not like art-wise, but you know what I mean. So, what was I saying? Oh, right. So, the Western idea here is that in Darkest Dungeon, Black Reliquary lore, so the Black Reliquary lore is that you go to this you go meet up with this captain guy, and now you're in the Middle East battling some kind of new horrific thing. And that's the idea. So you're basically some Western people from Europe or whatever, and they're going to the Middle East, and that's also kind of delivered in the music. So what's this that C Persian C minor mean? So basically, I would have played this, but basically C Persian is the scale, then there's, let's say, C minor. You might notice that they're very similar. Basically, not to say a lot of music jargon that anyone won't understand, is that they're very similar and they can be played from one scale to the other with no issues whatsoever. You can have the Persian sound and the Western sound all in the same thing. And provided you do it correctly, you won't almost even notice it. You'll hear both of them at once, but it won't stick out. So I utilize this every now and then. I take a Persian scale, for example, and then I flip and flop between the Western and the Eastern sounding scales. So let's take a look. We're going to SoundCloud for this. I hope this works. Okay. Okay. And we're going to listen to this section. Right, so there was a small section of this 7-minute song that's for, well, technically I'm not allowed to show this, oops, but it's the final area music. Potentially, it might be changed yet, but it's the final area music for the Black Reliquary dungeon itself. That's the name of the game, is also the last area you go into. So, I think the idea I took on this is very interesting. It avoids sounding boring, avoids sounding generic. Memory, I use those stereotypical lines you hear in Persian music. I think Eastern music. You heard let's say the Eastern scene appears in the movie. You get this super generic piece of music you've ever heard. It's the same every time. I did a little bit with that, but I tried to do it tastefully, but a lot of new things by mixing these themes. So, all right, this is all I have. I composed a 7-minute track just by looking at that. If you can't do it, practice. So this is also another important point I'm going to reach is talk with our team. The final link is coming it's a long way on. I asked the art guy, hey, can you send me something? He said, yes. Okay, good. And then I made this. And that's it. You gotta communicate. Importance of creative freedom. Okay, I think this should be pretty straightforward because all of these were made with creative control. The results typically with very creative freedom by people who don't understand music most of the time, I'm gonna be honest, don't even know what they're talking about. And should leave it to the person they hired to do the job. It's just honestly, I'm just gonna say I can understand when there's restrictions because there's a specific thing you're going. But what I mean is creative freedom to deliver the lore, the feel, the atmosphere, the composer. So you should always do that. And also be, if you're, this is the most important thing, if you're working with a composer, if you're going to rethink stuff, you're a horrible being. Because if the person's already started working on it, this composing takes a lot of time. And if somebody is like, hey, can you do something like this? I start doing it, and then you're like, sorry. Oh, actually, I think this would be cooler. Can you do that instead? No, I can't. Unless you pay me for it, I'm not going to do that. That's insane. So that's why I think it's important to let the composer do the job. And let him do stuff. You say, okay, this is good. He does the stuff. You get the feedback, not the other way around. I think that's a little important here because I've had one occurrence where my creative freedom was limited and the result was horrendous. So I can understand where restriction might come in place, but try to keep it in. Okay, finally, we're getting to the end. So, what does that mean? So, in terms of creative freedom and in terms of making fun and interesting stuff, in different types of music, in the next piece of music I'm going to show you, I have a baby in there, and I also have riots. You might be wondering, what does that mean? I'll say when something is playing the first time. So, yeah. Can you hear them? So the purpose of this, I'll get to in a moment. So this is very aggressive, and you won't be able to talk over me anymore. I hope you do this, but it might be a bit too aggressive for some. The baby is coming soon. Like 2 minutes. Here it is, baby. Right. So, did you hear them? There was lots of rad audio used that was just layered. One interesting thing, we could talk about this in here. Oh, right, yeah. So, I lied, there is no baby. Big shot. So, I created it. Female choir I have, and then I used the normal limits of the highest notes they could sing. Then I used a convolution effect. Now nobody will understand what any of this means, but you know, for the record, convolution takes the original sound, and the second sound as a sample, as far as I'm aware. Then the similar frequencies they share get loudened, and everything else that isn't similar gets quietened. And the end result is this really weird mangled sound, usually. You can create the most insane things with convolution I think I've ever heard. Really, you can make water sounds with that. It's pretty cool. So, but another thing I want to mention, which also nobody will understand what this means, but the sound does not sound like that on its own. What does that mean? When the song is playing, it sounds like a baby crying, but when the song isn't playing and the notes, like the sound is isolated and it's playing by itself, it doesn't sound like that. This is another weird thing that happens in really aggressive music, is that some frequencies just get like destroyed instantly because they're too quiet and can't fight for control. So this was a little bit of an happy accident. But I knew that Lynxes like a little bit resemble like crying, so that's what was my thought process there. And the end result was we got a baby crying in June. Pretty cool, I think. So yeah, the rad audio wasn't pitch shifted, it really did just sound like that. I don't know how, pure luck. And if it wouldn't have sounded like that, I would have used something, let's say, New Tone in FL Studio. You can change the... What does that sound? Anyway. I would have used New Tone for something like pitch shifting. Right, so I really want to show you how it works, but I don't think the video is going to work. Anyway, everything's too small here. Very problematic. So just imagine you have 4 mixer slots. You have 1, you have 2, you have 3, and then you have 4. The first one is a sine wave that is played at normal. The second is a sine wave played at the 12th octave. Sorry, it's 12th semitone. The third one is also sine wave played at the 19th semitone. And then the 4th sound is a high pass saw wave with some detune and some effects. And the second slot is basically the first sen is sent into the second is sent into the third, and the third is sent into the fourth. And the second one slot has all the distortion. For example, you can use guitar simulators, you can use convolution effects, free-form phase I used for this one, but you can use just phasers, you can use saturators, you can use but the goal is to put like as many distortion things as you have, but I'm a little broke, so I can't really put that many. And my PC can't run it. This is a really, really difficult thing to do, because the PCs usually aren't capable of running these unless you have a really good CPU. Now, maybe this one will work. No, it says QuickTime not available. Well, I'm sorry. Or maybe fortunately, because it'll get a little shorter. Okay, so the finale. Basically my point is, you gotta learn sound design, you gotta mess around with sound, you can't ignore it for the rest of your life, like I tried. It got cut off to me. But it's actually pretty interesting. Try to find a genre that's interesting for you to practice sound design in. I mean, I'm not telling you to go make like house music and try to think of the next interesting synth. Everyone's thought of that already, I think. So, this is a mix of speed metal, Argent metal, and then, oh, I forgot to mention Argent metal is the Doom music. Mick Gordon created a new genre that is in the Doom games, the new ones, the reboots, called Argent metal, to clarify. So I mixed all these things together. Now, this might honestly be a disaster. Some people might not like it, but this is what I mean in general, when trying to push the boundaries, you gotta do something interesting. You can't constantly keep doing the same thing, the safe bet, the same thing with games, same thing with any kind of media. You can't always play it safe. You gotta be interesting. So let's see if this sounds really bad or not. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention one person in this room doesn't like it already, sits to the right of me. And one last thing before I say that's it is if this inspires you to make your own interesting things, try to be really trying to break them out of the mold, out of the matrix. That's one cringe person on the internet would say. You like know what I'm talking about. So do it. Don't be scared about failing. Unless there's money involved, it's a little bit bad. But if you're trying something that might work, do it. If it fails, maybe it didn't do it well enough. So, and that is everything. Thank you for listening.
Well, that was a lot. We have a live stream. It will be recorded, then I will split it to bits and I will upload this speech like as a separate video and I will put some missing bits inside. So that's the end of official. And, yeah. You're totally free to speak, have fun, and we can put some amazing stuff just a bit because we just had some really so we can do a bit more. And yes, if you have any questions, you can always talk with me. We have here a small donation hall. It's for the musicians and the speakers today. Yes, and
These final stickers here. That's these stickers so definitely sticker. Very good.
Yes, I already have a few of those blue states. And yeah, I put them on some places. I have. So, no. Anyway, thank you all. And yeah, have fun. And I'm ending the live stream. And yeah, see you next time.